in Tennessee for the Hurst Pro Stock Shootout, and we are ready for the finals, Glidden against Ruth. But before that, let's take a closer look at a pro stocker as we go to the pit area and Brett Kepner.
The International Hot Rod Association version of Pro Stock Eliminator presents fans across the country with machines that may appear to be street stock versions, but are actually the most technologically advanced class in all of professional drag racing. These machines look to be street stock machines using stock components, but underneath all the fiberglass skin that you see is without a doubt one of the most unbelievable pieces of equipment you will ever see. In International Hot Rod Association Pro Stock Racing, the engine size is unlimited. The only professional class in drag racing that is such, including the engines which measure up to 707 cubic inches of displacement. On top of the engine, you see two 4-barrel carburetors, each of which take in 1,150 cubic feet of air per minute. Also, you can see the aluminum work underneath the hood, the two-frame chassis. Down on the front, underneath the one-piece fiberglass front end, you can see not only the custom paint job, but of course specially designed high-speed Goodyear racing tires, fiberglass doors, Lexan windows, of course the massive 16-inch wide, 33.5-inch tall Goodyear drag racing slicks. This quarter panel and this roof are the only pieces of original Pontiac Trans Am on the Gary Stewart Pro Stocker. As we come around to the back of the machine, you see the aerodynamic wing, which is designed to place high-speed downforce from the air going over the top of the machine down on the car. It increases the car weight approximately 4 times at 190 miles per hour and keeps the car glued to the ground. Here you see the parachute, an 8-foot wide version that will slow the machine from its 190 mile per hour speeds, plus of course the wheelie bars down at the bottom that keep the machine firmly planted on the ground. The interior of one of these 7-second 190 mile per hour monsters is just as exotic as the exterior. The first thing that catches your eye is the funny car style cocoon type roll cage designed to protect the driver in any situation. And of course the Lengo planetary transmission, in which a lever is used for each gear. This lever in forward actuates first gear. In backwards, it'll back up the car in reverse gear. Going down the racetrack after the driver uses the clutch only to leave the starting line, we pull second gear, then third gear, then fourth gear. Over here we see of course the all-important tachometer, a water temperature gauge, an oil pressure gauge, and this gauge, which actually tells the driver how much brake pressure is being used in the front wheels when he hits this button on the starting line to lock the front wheels and allow him to leave the starting line at full throttle. Up here, the ignition switch, fuel pump switches, cooling fan switch, even a lamp light for the tachometer and other gauges, and of course, what would a Trans Am be without a radio?
And that is just about all you would ever want to know about a pro stocker. And set to go in the finals of our Hurst Shootout here this afternoon is Bob Glidden and Jim Ruth.
$15,000 on the line. Bob Glidden there in the Chief Auto Parts Ford Thunderbird, Mr. Speed in drag racing in 1986, at least in the Pro Stockers. And Jim Ruth running the Party Time Trans Am, GM versus Ford, another one of those classic manufacturer matchups.
Well, it's party time for Jim Ruth, and it'll be even more of a party time if he can pull off the victory here over Bob Glidden. Ruth has defeated Roy Hill because of a red light, and he defeated soundly Ricky Smith, and now he's looking to pull off the upset of the weekend and defeat Bob Glidden. We're getting set to go.
Inching in very, very carefully. A lot of pressure on both drivers.
Light goes on. Oh, and it's a red light for Jim Ruth. He was a little over anxious, and Bob Glidden is going to pick up $15,000 in the shootout.
Bob, it happened very quickly. Again, I'm almost certain it was an on-purpose move that Ruth made. He got to the line and he figured, I don't have any choice but to try and jump this red light, jump this green light, and maybe that will be the way that I can get to victory lane ahead of Bob Glidden. He just miscalculated.
The family runs to greet Bob Glidden. Brett Kepner is also down there to talk with him, the winner of our Hurst Pro Stock Shootout, Bob Glidden.
Bob Glidden pulling around after his opponent Jim Ruth red lights away $15,000 in the final round of the Hurst Pro Stock Shootout. Bob, I don't know if you know it or not, but Ruth fouled on the starting line. You're automatically the winner. Another 729 at 192 puts you $15,000 richer.
That's great. I didn't know Jim red lighted. I thought it was a pretty good leave, and it was a good race through most of the course. Good race.
Well, obviously it didn't matter at that point, and the 7-Eleven Chief team comes through again.
I want to thank the people at 7-Eleven Chief Auto Parts, Ford and Motorcraft, and for this race, I want to thank the people at Hurst who put up the big bucks for us. It's been a good race, and thanks to ESPN for helping us.
From King, North Carolina, the Motorcraft.
Bob Glidden with a 729, a 192.30 wins the Hurst Pro Stock Shootout, and we'll be back with closing comments in a moment.
Racers racers demand the best. That's why more professional drag racers choose products from the Performance People more than any other.
Absolutely. Our Performance People products are performance proven.
Well, how about some examples of the other Performance People products?
Oh, for instance, 75% of the race cars here are using our Hurst shifters.
And Pro Stock killer Ricky Smith can attest to that.
Yes, my Pro Stocker has a Hurst shifter, and we wouldn't think about running anything else.
But Performance People stands for more than just great shifters.
Our 20 different companies carry everything in high performance.
So if you demand the best, demand Performance People products.
Closing comments going down to the pit area and Brett Kepner.
After 3 of the toughest rounds of competition, Bob Glidden's domination obviously shone through. Despite the red light start by Jim Ruth in the final round, Glidden proved with his 6th consecutive 7.2-second elapsed time that he is head and shoulders above the rest of the Pro Stock field in IHRA mountain-motored Pro Stock racing. 7.2 seconds, 192 miles per hour. These machines are knocking on the 6-second door, race fans. And in 1987 IHRA Pro Stock racing in the next Hurst Pro Stock Shootout should be even wilder.
Well, the Bob Glidden racing operation, very much a family affair, and there is the family portrait.
Bob, as we watch the Gliddens, I also want to comment on the job that Ruth did. He really did an excellent job. He made his way through 2 of the toughest competitors you find anywhere in drag racing, Roy Hill and Ricky Smith. And he got to the finals up against that man, Bob Glidden, and made that move that he felt intellectually he had to make. On the surface, it may have looked like an error, but when you commit something like that and you do it on purpose and it's done from an intellectual mode, it's not an error, it's a really good move. He came into the finals cranking off only 7.4s. Glidden came in with 7.2s. So you can see what Ruth was up against. He sensed that. He took his Kenmore Stone car right as far as he could, but he fell just a little short.
He ran a 192.3, the same as Glidden in the final round, and it hadn't been for the red light, it would have been a real close race.
Yeah, Glidden has held his own all weekend long, and not only has he been good at the top innings, but he's also been good at the bottom end when the race starts. His reaction time was just 1/10 of a second. Pretty fair country time for that, too.
The Hurst Pro Stock Shootout from Bristol, Tennessee has been brought to you by Mr. Gasket Company, makers of the world-famous Hurst shifter. By Drag Review, all you need to know about drag racing. My thanks to Brett Kepner, who worked the pit area, and to Larry Newber here in the broadcast booth. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more IHRA drag racing in 1987. For now, this is Bob Jenkins. So long, everyone.